Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. It looks like Bitcoin is still in a pretty weak state, but that's kind of what we expect, right? We knew it was below the middle line, which means your center line is here as long as it stays below it. That move down is what you want. This is something I talk about every day, and not much has changed, so I'm not going to waste your time by going into it too much. Okay, gold is next. Check out what gold did. Gold got a nice little boost today, but it's still stuck right below this short-term high of 2520. The jobs report tomorrow will have a big effect on gold. I believe there will be either a big breakout or a big crash. Now, for a bigger split, it would probably go back to around $2,400 as the lowest point. Even though the move isn't that big, you should know that banks have very high net long positions right now. That scares me all the time. Again, this means that the rug might need to be pulled out so that some of these institutions can be cleaned up. Wow, I know some people think that the banks really get wiped out, but the truth is that only about 3% of hedge funds are really good. The rest, to be honest, are mostly not that good. Just keep that in mind because that's how the beat works. It's also free, which is great. If you sign up now, you'll get all the new information for free. Stay ahead of the trends instead of just following them. Today, sign up for Bitcoin Bubble and enjoy the new edge. Let's talk about Bitcoin and other things in this movie. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 222 points today, which is another hit. There is a very, very small gain for the Nasdaq today. A few of the super caps are only going up a little bit. You can see that Apple is up just under 1% and Nvidia is also up just under 1% on this heat map. In turn, that helps the Nasdaq stay alive. But isn't there always a but? One of the biggest stocks in semiconductors, Broadcom, will report today at 4:15 after the bell. Based on that story, semiconductors could go down sharply after hours or up sharply. That might be something you want to look into. I won't be on, but I will be trading it live with earnings trader users. Okay, the SP 500 is down about 20 points for the day. The price of oil is flat today. Gold prices are up $18 and Bitcoin prices are down a couple thousand to just below $60,000. As for Bitcoin again, guys, we know that it could go to about 53,000 as long as it stays below that pivot line. If it breaks 53, the next important point would be 49. Okay, I just wanted to go over a couple charts with you. These need to be gone over. This is the first one, right? This is the yield curve once more. And the reason I've been talking about the yield curve so much lately is that it has finally stopped being reversed. What does it mean when it turns inwards? Actually, we can only use history and facts to help us figure this out. In the past, when it turned inverted, this is the recession, this is the inversion, and this is the UN inversion. Here is the reversal from 2006 to 2007 that leads into 2008. Here's how to invert. Here is your downturn. The yield curve quickly went inverted during or just before COVID. It then went back up, and there was a very short recession during COVID. The idea is here, and now we're just turning it around. It doesn't mean that a slump starts right now. It's usually about 3 months late, but just so you know, this is something we want to do in the past. Again, let me ask, is it a sure thing that we'll have a recession? There are no guarantees when you trade or buy. But if you follow the breadcrumbs, you can start to make educated guesses and high probability trade setups. That's what we aim to do with this data. Okay, this is the last chart I want to show you before we move on to stock charts. This is again our current list of all job openings. Here there were a lot of job openings, but now they've dropped off very quickly. This is shown again in the data from the Jolt. From a historical point of view, we're still higher now, right? We're pretty much back to where we were before COVID, but the speed of the drop is worrisome. This is why the Federal Reserve might lower interest rates by 50 basis points in September. A 50 basis point rate cut would be great for most of us. It would be like getting free money again. The problem is that when you look back at past recessions and stock market drops, it's usually when the Federal Reserve starts cutting rates that the stock market starts to fall quickly. We just want to be sure. It's all about the facts, even though there are a lot of stories being told about you on social media and in the news. It's not always going to be right to follow the data, but at least you have a better chance of being on the right side of the trade. That's what I've made it my mission to do: ignore emotion and hype and follow the data, because that's my best chance of making money trading stocks. AngelX, the famous crypto drainer, has released a new version that is causing chaos by putting out over 300 rogue decentralized apps in just 4 days. At the same time, the US Commodity Futures Dealing Commission CFTC accused Uniswap of dealing illegal derivatives. The value of all cryptocurrencies fell below $2 trillion as Bitcoin's price fell below $60,000. Blockade, a blockchain security company, says that has put out more than 300 rogue apps in just 4 days. These apps are made to steal digital assets from people who don't know it. This is especially true on younger blockchains with fewer security tools like the Open Network Dawn and Tron. Blockade has found 150 new scams since it went live on August 31st. This makes people worry that crypto-related hacking attacks are getting smarter. The US Commodity Futures Trading Commission CFTC accused Uniswap Labs of breaking the law by letting small buyers in the US use leverage crypto trading. As part of a deal, Uniswap decided to pay a $175,000 fine. Even though there was a fine, the CFTC wasn't unanimous. Commissioner Summer Mosinger was against the move because there wasn't enough clear guidance for DeFi protocols. Tiflama says that Uniswap has assets worth more than $4 billion right now. After a 3.46% drop, the global crypto market cap fell below $2 trillion, and Bitcoin fell below the important $60,000 level. The analysts are watching for a possible change in the price of Bitcoin at $54,000. September has usually been a bad month for Bitcoin. Stats from CoinGlass show that Bitcoin's average return in September is 4.69%. This makes it the most unpredictable and bearish month ever. Tesla had another great day. Great news, the stock price went up 5% for the day. This happened after it was announced that their self-driving taxi would be launching in October. People come in all of a sudden to buy because they're excited about that robo-taxi. You should keep an eye on two types of resistance. One is to fill in this gap right here. That's coming up right now, around 240 give or take. Then there's a multiple zone that goes down right here. As a swing trade, I don't think I would sell this one short. If the price goes all the way up to that level, I might think about a swing trade short on it. It doesn't matter if I like or dislike the company. Guys, stop letting your feelings mess you up. Get rid of them. It doesn't help you. You only need to find a small drop to make a swing trade. Once you do that, you don't care if the price goes up or down after that. That's the beauty of swing trading, which is what we do best here, as well as day trading at VERY, which ended the day just slightly in the black. In the afternoon, Nvidia was very quiet. There was the first gap down here, the big rise, and then really look at this. Take a look at how narrow that channel gets towards the end of the day. For the most part, that was the first hour or two of the day. Then all of a sudden, the rest of the day began. One more time, I think this is likely because investors are still holding off to see what Avgo Broadcom says in terms of earnings. Okay, what do I think? Nvidia is going down, but that doesn't mean it can't bounce back $5 after being down $30 or $20 in the last few days and weeks due to their most recent earnings report. And Broadcom